Good evening, Arbitriers. Welcome to the Arbitrarium a la carte. So, how often do you think of screwing up your own brain?
All the time.
And I'm not talking, hello, friendly screwdriver, home trepanning, but the more intensive process by which one creates a tulpa. Now,
Is it like the end of the movie Pi where he takes that drill and...
no, this is the more organic method.
Oh, okay.
Drugs.
That's the too organic method. A tulpa is effectively like an imaginary friend that you've intensely meditated on to the point that you actually perceive them. Like you see them, you smell them, you hear them. It's a hallucination that you've inflicted on yourself and mild dissociative disorder.
Mm-hmm.
It's a practice common with, I think, Buddhist monks. Well, not common, but people do it.
So,
Tulpas sounds
dissociating yourself just enough to where you have a legitimate imaginary friend.
Yeah.
What are they used for?
Well, supposedly part of it is just mental, like, discipline. Like, being able to do that to yourself shows that you have absolute mastery over your own mind.
Does it?
No.
Does it really?
Hey,
Depends on your definition of mastery, I guess.
Yeah. Certain religions believe some very odd things. But the most entertaining cases are when someone tries to create a tulpa of a fictional character because they've spent too long on certain websites or have been hanging out with some really weird people.
Like the people at Keebler?
Can we call them people?
I don't think we're discussing the human status of elves tonight.
The personhood of the Keebler elves. No, we're not there.
We're discussing when they aren't people, but you imagine them hard enough that you see them as such.
Like you physically see them? Like
Yes.
it's a legit hallucination? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, that's beyond a dissociative disorder.
Like you've effectively given yourself a mild mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I mean, if you're hallucinating without provocation of any kind of substance, that's not mild.
no, that's full-on schizophrenia, right?
I mean, not necessarily, but yeah. I mean, it could certainly be something along the lines of schizophrenia.
I mean, I'd be interested in experiencing having a tulpa,
Yeah.
as long as it's something that I could. Okay, I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what would this figment of my imagination tell me?
See, that's the thing. What are you manifesting?
You're a psychopath.
Would it whisper sweet nothings in my ear like kill all them puddin' heads?
Possibly.
I'm picturing Happy.
Yeah, that'd be a good example.
Mm-hmm. It's got the little unicorn pal.
Yeah. However, it is still a product of your own mind, so if you don't know something, neither would the tulpa.
Yeah, like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer is hallucinating Colonel Klink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that'd be a case of someone not doing it intentionally. Now,
Could it be a tool to remember things that you didn't remember that you knew?
there are safer things you can do with that, like, memory palaces. If done incorrectly, I've heard it can cause a blinding migraine that lasts for quite a while.
What, the memory palace or the tulpa thing?
Tulpa.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting side effect.
Well,
I wonder why.
there are a lot of communities that say assorted things about tulpas. For example, never have sex with one. You're basically giving it a degree of power you don't want a figment of your imagination to have.
Oh no, I've raped myself.
Well, in one case, someone tried to create a tulpa of a Steven Universe character.
Working that shadow.
Tried to,
I'm getting Cool World vibes off this.
yeah. Tried to be intimate with it, but now he just had a glowing screaming ball of light. Tried again, formed without limbs. Tried again. still just a flopping figment of his imagination that won't stop screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Or there are cases where...
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
I mean, we're going off pure self-reporting here.
Yeah. It's still an interesting idea, and whether you do it or not. But
I just want to know how they like gauge whether or not you've done it successfully.
that it interacts in a way that you expect.
So that you have control over your imaginary friend.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you weren't in control.
Yeah, I mean, that would be bad.
Well, one of the stories that I found particularly entertaining is someone...
Fight Club on this one.
Yeah, Fight Club is another example.
Tyler Durden is a tulpa.
Yeah.
Tulpa Durden.
But my favorite story surrounding this is when someone decided, hey, I'm going to make I'm going to make a tulpa of a My Little Pony character.
Uh-huh.
And it wound up the more powerful personality that bullied him into creating the rest of the cast.
Still just kind of thinking of Happy.
Yeah.
He was a unicorn, but he looked a lot like a My Little Pony horse.
Yeah, the marshmallow horse.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, but Happy could actually interact with the world.
Well, yeah.
We saw Happy do like a whole kilo of cocaine.
That's true.
That is a thing that happened.
So that's actually just a manifestation of some kind of psychic entity.
Yeah. I mean, it's still... I mean, what is the difference between that and a tulpa other than intention?
It's not actually... It can't affect the real world. It's just a figment of your imagination.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I get you.
You done messed up your own brain. That's the difference.
As far as why you would get a massive migraine for several days, I mean, you are fucking with your own brain chemistry through willpower alone.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're willing to take an ice pick to your frontal lobe, I don't think you'd want to do this.
You wouldn't think so.
But people have taken ice picks to their brain.
That's true.
Some successfully.
Yeah. Depending on what your metric for success is.
Lobotomy rather than death.
Yeah, yeah.
That reminds me of... No, it's off topic. Now, in some fiction, this is achieved with technological means. Like you basically have a... Crichton in a Farscape. He had a Scorpio... Or Scorpius? Yeah. He had a tulpa that was enforced on him by a brain implant of his worst enemy.
I mean, I'm presuming that Harvey is a reference to Harvey.
Yes.
Okay.
And
yes.
Harvey could be an example, except we've seen him affect the physical world in that movie.
Yeah. God, that's a great movie.
In one of the games I play, most people have something called a muse. It's just augmented reality. This is basically your personal assistant in your head.
Yeah.
Can't affect the physical world unless it also has cyber warfare suites. At which point, then, it can do some stuff.
What was the name of that, of Ryan Gosling's pseudo-girlfriend program in Blade Runner 2049?
Oh, I can't remember her name.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a technological tulpa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose there's also the issue that if other people can perceive it and you're not just...
See, other people would be able to...
Yeah.
And that she could affect the physical world as well.
Because,
Not really.
It
would be possible for her to affect the physical world.
I mean, it's definitely an upgrade from, being one of the actors in one of our sponsors, Raving Derelict Butter, which is when you have an imaginary friend that won't go away.
Coming soon to Amazon Prime. So, what's the question here? What are we trying to answer? I mean, we've established what a tulpa is.
So, what could possibly make you consider doing that to yourself?
Sheer curiosity would be the driving force, but I don't think I'm that curious.
As what I'm pretty sure is the only one among us who has experienced dissociative disorder, not much could get me to think about trying that, because it's like I feel like that's like hopping in a roller coaster and being like, I'm gonna get this thing to stop with my hands at the top. Right as it just as it gets past that lump and starts to fall, I'm gonna grab onto that thing and I'm gonna stop it with my hands.
And you're not Spider-Man.
Dead nut. That's what it sounds like to me. So now granted, I've thought ever since the advent of augmented reality and things like that, wouldn't it be cool if I had like my own little Bugs Bunny just follow me around, who just had the personality of Bugs Bunny? Like a little AI character that I could hang out with. That'd be pretty cool. But the older like when you're a kid, that sounds really cool. But the older you get, the more that's kind of crazy.
Then he'll be watching you on the toilet and doing other things.
Yeah. I mean, I could turn it off if it's augmented reality.
Oh, God. Imagine Bugs Bunny making fun of your small dick. Or even implying that.
Not really his style.
Yeah, he's not really that vulgar.
No,
his inspiration could be.
Well,
True. I'd honestly pick something more like Wander Over Wander. He's like Bugs Bunny without the asshole factor. Because,
in most situations, Bugs Bunny is getting back at somebody who's being an asshole to him. Not all of them, but in the vast majority of them.
I mean, for fuck's sake, Elmer Fudd. Mm-hmm. He's a vegetarian who sport hunts. Mm-hmm. That is peak level asshole. You aren't even doing it for food. You're doing it because you want a trophy.
I mean, he might donate the animal.
He might. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, we don't know exactly his process because we've never seen him successfully take something down.
We know it was a yacht.
What?
Fudd has a yacht?
Yeah. He's actually supposed to be relatively wealthy.
Oh, yeah, when you get into the 50s and 60s episodes, yeah.
Yeah, the old lore where he was allowed to have a gun.
Well, I mean, that's the 50s and 60s is like the late classic Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
By that point, they were getting kind of boring.
Now they've given him a scythe for some reason.
So he can't carry a gun. That's really all it is.
Yeah, that's...
Any weapon, as long as it's not a gun.
A spear would make more sense, or a bow would make sense.
Yeah.
That was one thing I gave to the second Space Jam, is that they gave Yosemite Sam 2 6-shooters, and he fired them on screen.
Yeah, as he should.
At Daffy Duck.
Oh.
And hit him.
Oh.
Quite a few times.
Well, that's kind of the shtick, right?
Yeah.
But
the kids know what guns are. They know what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was technological, could you use it in a punitive sense?
Oh my! Oh man!
Yeah.
Forcing a tulpa on someone. It's like, yeah, we don't need to worry about death row. We're just going to force you to see all your victims, and they're going to interact with your daily life every day for the rest of your life.
We've done away with solitary confinement.
Oh,
it's only pseudo-solitary.
Now we call it binary confinement.
It's like, yeah, you could make a living hell with these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally have an angel and a devil on your shoulder.
I don't see why anyone would do this. Other than sheer curiosity or religious commitment.
Or you really, really want to know what it's like to pet Twilight Sparkle.
Is that one of the ponies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, except you wouldn't actually know. You said your tulpa doesn't know anything that you don't.
Yeah, but part of the creation process is imagining those aspects of the character.
I can't imagine these are terribly common.
No.
And I'd be suspect of most people claiming, "Hey, I made a tulpa" on the internet. It's like, did you?
It's like there's no way.
Could just be a funny story,
right?
I mean, there are people who claim to have.
Sort of like an fMRI, maybe, that can actually scan the particular parts of your brain that are,
screaming at you to kill all them button heads.
Yeah.
I mean, there
parts
are
of the visual cortex when you're clearly not looking at anything.
Can have people use this to partition parts of their personality?
I mean,
maybe. Could you use a tulpa like a lockbox for parts of your personality you don't like? I'm not saying this is a good idea.
I've created a tulpa. Really? What's its name? Sybil.
I was going to go with Hyde.
Oh, God.
Though,
What was that movie? I think it was called Simone.
The one with Al Pacino and he's got the robot
Yeah.
actress. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, AI and not AI.
It was-
Well, kind
no,
of
it's,
AI.
It's Sim 1.
Yeah.
Except Simone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That just popped in my head. I don't think it's relevant, but go on.
so all in all, I think we agree that it's not a good idea if you can't turn it off.
I'm not saying don't do it, but I would not do it.
Of course, with the legitimacy of these claims,
It's your brain. Do with it what you want.
there are some weird stories out there. People claiming they've successfully summoned succubus or stuff like that.
The internet is living proof that a mind is a terrible thing to use.
Yeah. I mean, one of the stories I've read is a guy raped a ghost that was haunting his house. Went from, full-on apparition to just hearing sobbing at night.
Okay.
Or attempting to rape your sleep paralysis demon.
I mean,
What is it with you and rape?
This is
Damn, dude.
this is the internet, sir. This is not me.
is the internet your tulpa?
Oh God.
Are you the internet Stolpa?
I mean, I've had a fever high enough that would actually mess with my head. Am I real or just a figment of the internet? Am I a much sadder lawnmower man?
Okay, are we going anywhere else with this, or are we good?
I
think,
don't know where else to go with this.
I have
other
no
than to keep
idea.
bullshitting.
I don't even know how long we've been running. We've just been kind of going. I mean, it's only 17 minutes. You can go for a few more minutes if you want. You can think of anything.
I suppose if I had to have one implanted, technological, so I can turn it off.
Is it really a tulpa if it's technological, though?
Then it's just
It's like
like
cheating.
Well,
I
that's
mean, what else are you going to call that thing?
a muse.
I mean, a computer wasn't always a machine.
Brain buddy?
Yeah, brain buddy.
It's your brain pal.
Yeah.
John Scalzi reference.
It'd have to be something I would not be attracted to. Like a cartoon character.
The paperclip.
Oh God! Talk about punitive tulpas.
Clippy.
I see you're trying to hang yourself. Would you like help with that?
Researching articles on David Carradine.
I'm definitely not a family member either, living or dead.
No.
I mean, if I had to have one, John Browning, maybe.
See, to me, there's like this positive relationship, if I graft it, between imaginary friends I would love to have and imaginary friends that it's really sad to have. Like, the more I want that imaginary friend, the sadder it is if if I come to rely on that imaginary friend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah,
Hollywood.
she irritate the piss out of me.
Another punitive tulpa.
I think there are far more punitive ones than there are ones that you might actually enjoy.
I guess
Jeffrey
that's
Dahmer?
the thing. What would your tulpa be if it could be any fictional character?
Yeah?
I don't know. There's quite a
Or
few.
any, I mean, do we have to limit it to fictional?
I think you might violate someone's, I don't know, intellectual property if you copy them in your brain.
We're doing that with fictional characters too, pal.
Yeah. But at least you can pay a licensing fee.
You get the privilege of paying a licensing fee.
Oh God, if all it ever does is try to sell you NFTs.
Just headshots of itself.
Yeah, you go with the free one and you get adware in your brain. And if we go with the John Scalzi thing, adware, ads for Russian Viagra that you can't really get rid of unless you have.
Now I need to
somebody
have that
that's in your
entire
brain.
neural pathway excised, and I don't like retail employees digging around in my brain with a laser. I do not like that.
Yeah, I'd probably go with, Wander from Wander Over Yonder.
I really don't know.
Friendly, happy.
The oldest one is probably Bugs Bunny. I grew up always thinking it'd be cool to have Bugs Bunny as a friend.
Tuvok.
Tuvok.
I'm gonna go with Tuvok. He wouldn't say much.
Fascinating.
The Doctor.
No, I couldn't stand the...
Not the new one.
I couldn't stand the opera and needing to show pictures of his latest away mission. I don't need that. Tuvok would just be quiet and insist that I act rationally, which is what I should do anyway.
Yeah.
So.
So you would make your Tulpa your explicit
life coach, yes.
I was going to say conscience, but sure.
More of a life coach than a conscience. Because, Tuvok did some underhanded shit. We all know he did.
And definitely no fucking ponies.
See, the more you say stuff like that, the more I feel like we're not the ones you're trying to convince.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle high-pitched voices like that constantly. Chris gets a pass because, he's my nephew, but...
Then you don't have to deal with him constantly.
Yeah.
Come on.
I operate best when social interaction is low commitment.
There you go. There's a good test for the four pillars or the eightfold path or whatever. If you're a Buddhist, what's the tulpa that I could create that would test absolutely all of my patience?
Fran Drescher.
No, she's all right. Gur would be one.
Garfield.
Nah, Garfield's bland enough that you could probably ignore him.
That little fucking fairy from a Zelda game. Hey, over here.
Navi,
yeah.
Yeah,
she'd be useful though.
I'd pick Midna over that. But, probably breaking one of my rules.
What helps you abandon want? That's what you'd want to get there if you were a Buddhist.
An imaginary pizza that you can always eat.
Of it. Abandon all want and desire.
Asceticism.
Oh, God. I think I know one.
Asceticism. That's what that.
I thought you said aestheticism.
No.
I heard a T in there.
Astigmatism.
Oh, God.
Okay, I think I've narrowed down the one.
You don't want anything if you can't see it.
I think I've narrowed down the one that I would legit take the ice pick to my brain to get rid of. Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls.
Well, she's irritating, but not that irritating.
Irritating and never learns a single lesson in the entire fucking show.
Yeah, but this is her outside of the context of that show.
Also, her voice is just very grating.
I don't watch a lot of cartoons. So.
Sorry.
You guys are picking cartoon characters.
Well, we see regular people all the time. It's more interesting to have a cartoon character because that's something you don't usually see in 3D space, right next to you.
Yeah, and most of the time when people make a 3D render, they're awful.
That's not entirely true. As bad as the script for the second Space Jam movie was, I will say that the 3D models for those Looney Tunes characters actually looked really good. The animators were actually really good on that.
Okay.
Film. Story was not, but the animators were good.
Korra would also be on that list. Not your cat.
Yeah, I figured Legend of Korra, right?
Not only breaks one of the rules, but I also find her very irritating.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really find her irritating.
She's hot, but she's super incompetent. She sucks at her job.
I'm only a season and a half into that.
Oh, okay.
To be fair.
Well,
Well, I figure we've wrung this stone dry of blood.
I think so.
Well,
let's go find a turnip to beat.
Please consider this if you ever want to fuck around with your brain chemistry. Goodbye.
Where can we get an online guide to making our tulpa? Where do you go for that?
Not places I would recommend you go.
Okay.